Welcome to the Citystead.
That's right. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Citystead. We are in our last little area here.
The cherry forest.
The cherry forest. Kind of a forest, not really. But we have a bunch of cherry trees that we've been planted back here. Now, this is not a place that we have done as much as we did with the other parts of the yard. So this was kind of our first foray into, we really want to have some fruit trees on our property, and we were like, bought some and threw them in the ground. We didn't really think anything or know what we were doing or learn anything about permaculture at that time. So our mindset has changed a lot, but the fact that we already put these trees in kind of prevents anything that we can do different with them because they're already in the ground and I don't want to be moving them around. Although this is kind of the area that if we were going to do anything, it's kind of redo some of this because it's not as good as what we would like. Now, as you can see, we do have some wood chips down that we just did this year. And we do have a couple different things going on. We do have a couple cherry trees that do all right. This is an old tart. This is the first thing we planted back here. Oh no, it was a tart cherry tree. Yeah, this is about 4 or 5 years old now. Can't remember exactly. But we get cherries off it every year and we like it. So a lot of little pies made with this. So this was our first tree we planted back here, and then from there we put in another cherry tree. We got one over here. We have one back there that's not looking too hot, and then we have one here that's putting on some growth, just not as much as we would like. And then we have another one over here that just died on us. So we will be opening up over here because I don't know if you can tell or not, but it is a very sunny day out, and we are pretty much in the dead shade. So I think the plan would be, I don't know if you can see how sunny it is and see how shady it is over here. This is also one of the locations of our other fig tree that we have. And you've seen the other one in the other videos. This thing is like knee high. The other ones are as tall as I am. So we definitely need to open this area up more and get a lot more sun coming in. And then our cherry trees will do a lot better. But we also have a couple other things we got planted back in here that do seem to enjoy what we're doing. Now this is raspberries that we planted. And this was like one tiny raspberry plant we had that we planted in here, and it's kind of definitely done its thing and spread out a lot, and we got a lot of raspberry branches off of this thing. Now we haven't gotten too many raspberries out of here, but it's kind of like the critter zone, high critter zone back here. It's where our squirrels hang out. We also have a couple blueberry bushes in here. Now this guy, got one over here. We got one more little blueberry over here. I mean, they're coming along. They're kind of struggling too, along with the trees. So I think we definitely need to get this opened up more, get a little more space going on. And the other thing we planted this year that seems to be doing pretty good actually is this, and I'm super excited about this. It's a 4-in-1 pluot tree. Oh, that's right. Do you like the pluots? Oh yeah, we love the pluots. They are awesome. What do we got here? We got a Flavor King, a Flavor Supreme, a Flavor Queen. Can you read this one? What does this one say?
What does it say?
It'll say up at the very top.
Dapple Dandy Pluot.
And a Dapper Dandy. Those are the 4 varieties that are grafted onto this one tree here. And it's got quite a bit of little growth on here. I'm going to put a spreader in there this year to get these branches apart a little bit more. But this thing actually looks like it's doing all right here. It's kind of toward the front where it gets a little bit more sun.
So does each branch of it have a different
Yep.
flavor?
This will be one flavor. This will be a different flavor. That'll be a different flavor, and that'll be one. Yep, that's right. That's 4 varieties grafted onto one trunk.
Yes!
That means 4 different pluots.
So that would be a whole bunch.
Now another place you guys have seen a little bit in the videos is this very back corner, which is where the kids like to hang out.
The hideout.
This is the hideout.
The clubhouse. The instruments fell all down.
So this is the little area that the kids like to come out and play. It's kind of like a little getaway, little wooded corner. We got a little tunnel we built for in there. We're gonna try to put some, I can find something that grows on the shade, it grows in the shade as a vine. Once I find something like that, we're probably gonna plant it over top of that. Get that growing a little bit more.
That too.
We got a little tiny picnic table that we built for the kids.
And that's my chair, and then my club is gonna sit on the benches.
For her club, they're gonna sit on the benches with her. You know, just somewhere cool for them to hang out.
Girls club.
Now what we got going on in the front over here is we actually took one of those cow panels and bent it a little bit to make like a wall here. And on the outside of it, we planted some blackberries. And they are coming on all right. Not doing too bad. Got quite a bit of little growth going. They look like they'll be all right back here, the way they are. And then as they get bigger and we pin them up this trellis a little bit more, we're gonna cut a little bit of these branches back and get them a little bit more sun. One of the other cool things about this little fort is that it is underneath a mulberry tree.
Mulberries are my favorite. So whenever I want a mulberry, I can just go out and pick some.
Yeah, this is the mulberry tree.
And there's a mulberry tree over there too.
And it's up there, it's an old tree, so it's pretty big.
Yeah, there's one right there.
And then there's also another one in here. And then beyond that, there's a third mulberry tree back here.
There's three mulberries.
See, unfortunately, our mulberry season's kind of over, but there you go, you can see a little bit of that one. Mulberry season is over, but these things are awesome, and we love them.
And we have other fruit trees over here.
I know, we're getting there. So we definitely enjoy our mulberry trees
What are you barking at?
that are in our backyard. They are great. Little snacks, the kids will eat them like crazy. We put fruit leathers, jams, all sorts of stuff with them.
Mama's fruit leather.
So they always,
Mama made really good mulberry fruit leather.
yeah. I said they usually always get used up. So now, let's talk about a little fruit row. Like I said, this was kind of before we knew permaculture and all that ideal. So we just planted fruit trees because we didn't really know what we were doing. We're not talking about that. It's dead. So we didn't really know what we were doing. We just put some fruit trees in because we wanted to have some fruit trees. We just did a row of them. So what we got is a quince. So we got this quince tree, and I planted this because I read that it's a really good pollinator for other fruits. So it was the whole reason behind it, was like, oh, it can pollinate a bunch of stuff. Let's do it. And a lot of English orchards, I guess, have this tree, or at least one of these, in their orchard. So we went ahead and did one. Do you know what this one is?
Superior plum.
That's right, a superior plum tree. Now, we haven't been fortunate enough to get any plums off of it, but this thing has done super good back here. It just loves it. You can see these branches. Which I can show you where the growth started this year, but yeah, it's hard to show where the growth is, but these things have grown pretty well out here. The plum tree is definitely doing good. I think we might actually get some plums next year off it, especially now that we have a pluout over there. Hopefully it'll do a little bit of cross-pollination, and we'll probably do another plum tree this year, or in the spring, fall or spring, because we like the plums and they're a lot easier to grow than our next tree, which is, do you know what this is?
Medhaven peach.
A peach tree. And we love peaches, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Peaches are great.
And they rhyme with beaches.
And they rhyme with beaches, that's right. And leeches.
And sneeches.
And sneeches. With letters on their tummies?
No, stars.
Stars on their tummies.
But some of them don't have them.
And some are not apparent letters. So peach trees need a lot of attention and work, and they need to be sprayed about 4 times a year. So if you're kind of like a hands-off person, they're not really the tree for you. Although delicious, they are a lot of work and maintenance. So we probably won't plant any more. This one, and one of the very first trees we ever planted on the property, was 70 years ago. That one is, I mean, we got peaches a couple times, but it's just too much work. I don't really like the work that's involved with them, so we probably won't do any more peaches.
So we go to the store to buy peaches.
We go to the store and get peaches or an orchard. Yeah, that's right.
There's only too much cheese.
We don't know how this one's going to do yet. So it's supposed to be an almond tree.
How?
Now we put this in early in
Almond.
the spring, and you can see. I don't know. This is not really our proud area. We're still working hard to get this stuff ready and learn more about some of this stuff, but I really wanted to get a nut tree going, and it doesn't look like it's going to do anything. So I'm going to see what it looks like in the spring, and if it looks dead, we're going to replace it. This is part of the side of trying to grow your own food, is that every once in a while things just don't work out very well.
Loyalty apricot.
Yeah, and now we have an apricot tree. So we got a little apricot tree over here. It's doing all right. It's got a lot of new growth and stuff every year.
I don't see any apricots.
Well, no, it's not going to fruit for a while yet, but. So this is kind of our fruit tree alley we got here.
There's some more over here. We got blueberries.
Yeah, we got a couple blueberry bushes back here, and that's a honeyberry.
Oh. So these are all. That one doesn't look good, but
Yeah. All right, and then over here.
Mama's favorite, raspberries.
No, this isn't a raspberry.
Well, there's other raspberries, but there's one over here.
This is an elderberry. I have found a Collimore elderberry, and I planted this back here. This thing is really cool. It's got very pretty leaves on it.
Yeah.
Grows cool. And elderberries are supposed to have a lot of health benefits, so we definitely want to have those.
We have gooseberries back here too.
There are some gooseberries along the fence somewhere, but they're hard to see because they're being washed out by black raspberries that we definitely got to pull and thin back out, because the black raspberries pretty much take over every little area. Yeah, we got a few more raspberries that are in here. Another little blueberry bush.
And strawberries.
We had some goji berries, but they ain't doing too hot either. And then this is what happens when you don't get out and take care of one thing. This is the one thing we neglected this year altogether, was the strawberry patch. And
it's a weed patch now.
that's right, it is a weed patch now.
The top is literally bursting open.
So next year, what we're gonna do is clean all this out again, and we are gonna fill it with strawberry plants and wood chips to keep down all these weeds. Where we had another black raspberry grouping. So we got a lot of black raspberries on this property. We eat them a lot. They make a lot of jams, fruit leathers.
And they're doing really good.
And then you saw before in the garden, they extend all the way down our fence line pretty much to where our garage is. So we got a good, I would say we have about 40 feet of black raspberries.
We have another one over there.
And there's a few other little patches because once you get them, you can't get rid of them. So this is our first peach tree we planted back here.
Yeah, it's really big.
It's got some peaches, but like I said, we don't spray or anything, and they don't look all that great.
They don't look the ones like this.
And the other thing we planted when we first moved in was this
Pears.
peach tree and then a pear tree, and we actually got our first pears last year off of it, and they turned out to be really good. Now this year I'm not sure if we're gonna get any pears because I think the squirrels have been out here robbing us.
If there's a such thing as squirrel repellent, maybe we should put it on the tree.
That would be a good idea. So that's kind of the rest of our yard. It's not as impressive as our food forest or our main garden, but we have other stuff that we have going on where we're planting and growing other things. And they will get better now that we know more, now that we've done more research, now that we're more into all of growing our own food and really putting time and energy into making sure that we do it right and good. We will definitely get this stuff straightened out and cleaned up, and we'll have more. You'll get to see most of that next year when it comes to season, or maybe this fall. Hold on, maybe this fall or next season you'll see a lot more videos of us coming back here and trying to get this all straightened out to where we have a lot more production out of the back half of our property as we do sort of in the middle where our garden and stuff is.